welcome to the Comfy Cozy Hour. So today's video is always a special video to do because you know I'm a Caribbean. But before that, let's talk about the word of the day is absolve, and we are going to not do that. So let's write about it, and for today's journal mood word of the day. And yeah, so I will see you guys over on Instagram. Check me out daily. That's where you will see most of my spread, as well as on TikTok every day. So let's get into Caribbean books. My dream is to one day read at least 25 Caribbean books in a year. So if I'm reading an average of 90 to 100 books, I would love for 25 for them to be Caribbean, because there's a lot of Caribbean islands to pick from. There's a lot of Caribbean authors to pick from, but I have yet to do that. But I'm not mad at this year. 17. Okay, 17. That's not bad at all, and it's a wide variety. We're talking from new release to very old classic authors I've never heard of, and I'm happy about that. So let's start off with Goo and Ends. Moses Mackenzie is an author that was new, and it was one of the books that was sent to me, so I was glad I was able to read it. He is of Jamaican heritage. I had mixed feelings with this one. This one was in the middle for me. I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it. But it again gives me the whole idea that I find that my people who go to, you know, on the English side, tend to write stories that are really focused on the violence in a family. And this is what it was. This is a boy that can't escape his family who's rooted in violence, rooted in things, and you know, and his involvement with a girl, and it was such a sad book. And again, there's certain aspect of it was just not a fan of, but it was more like a 3-star kind of book. I did a review on this. I did a review on all the books that I'm going to be talking about, so this is not really a review. This is just me telling you what I read. Romance, fluffy. Kimolisa. I forgot what island she's from. I forgot what island. I'll put it here. I read 2 of her books, so book 2 will be hers, and book 3 as well, The Pleasure Is Mine. These are romance, and of course I'm always looking forward to some Caribbean romance. Fluffy irked my nerve because if you're not familiar, fluffy means plus size, so I will be called up fluffy especially in Jamaica. But it's always seemed like books that surround a character that's plus size, there's always this insecurity, and I didn't like that part of that book. I sure didn't. But it was also a short story, a short erotica, so it has some sexy aspect to it, but I wish they would have left that part out. I wish she was that fluffy, confident, sure about herself, that kind of character, and the book would have been, yeah. The Pleasure in Mine, I like this one because it's around resort. It's around what you call the help falling for the resort son, the owner son. Didn't come out at first how I expected, but I really like this one. I did like this one. I do have part 2 that I did not read yet, but I do like the whole idea of the storyline, so I was here for it. Then 4 is River Sing Me Home, and this is Eleanor Shearer. This one, it's one of those books that I feel, this is the author that took several stories of her grandmother told her, and other stories that she's read, and she combined them. So of course it's not about accuracy, it's not about, okay, because of the fact is you are fully aware if you go into this book that it is several stories that she just put together. What I liked about this is we don't get enough stories of this. We know for a fact that there's some people who did find their children. There's some people after slavery ended were able to travel and find their children. It's not a lot, it's a very small amount, but for those that did, it's important to share those stories. So I think I really appreciate how she wrote this in terms of, you know, going through different parts of the Caribbean. She really did travel to different parts of the Caribbean to find her children, and whether it was a successful ending, it didn't matter, but she had that journey, she had that option, and she had that drive, and that's what I really appreciate about this story. Then you have The Secret Lives of Cat Spraddle Village, and this is Callie Brownie. Now Callie Brownie is Barbados. Hello Barbados, gotta love it. And what I love is this town, this village gives you Caribbean. This is a very authentic Caribbean short story collection, and I feel like she needs to just take one or two of those stories and make it a full-length book, because I will read it. Absolutely love the short story collection. Then we have absolutely my favorite short story collection this year, which is At the Bottom of the River by Jamaica Kincaid. Absolutely a 5-star. Absolutely beautiful writing. She packed a punch in this small collection of short story. Everything about this book, every story, everything was so well done. I cannot speak enough about how great this author is when it comes to writing that heart-wrenching, beautiful, and sometimes sad, sometimes survival of the fittest kind of short story that it was weird in our culture. I read this and I thought about my grandmother, about some of the things my grandmother did say to me, and it's just so interesting that she is from Antigua, but culturally in the Caribbean, where especially if you were British Caribbean island, you tend to have similar culture and similar saying and things, so that I really enjoy that. Then we have Palace of the Peacock by Wilson Harris. This is the author I never knew about, but this is a classic. This is a well-known classic in a certain academic setting. Had no idea. Couldn't tell me anything because I did not know. But this one took me out of my element because it had more of a magical realism, but it do take you through the jungles of Guyana. You felt Guyana, you felt like you were there. I've never been to Guyana, but I felt like I've been there reading this book. So this was really good. Then of course you know The God of Good Looks, and we know Brianna McIver. We did a read along with this for Caribbean this year. Absolutely love this. I love how the story was told. I love that lessons learned and experience and everything you can think of. So this was really, really a good one. And that, of course, Trinidad and Tobago. And then we have The Final Passage by Carl Phillips, and this is St. Kitts. I don't believe I've... Alright guys, my mother, loud. Anyway, The Final Passage by Carl Phillips. This is a book that was released, I believe, 1985. It's so funny that sometimes they consider this a classic, and I'm like, 85 is a classic now? Yeah. Anyway, I love this. This is that immigration story of wanting to pick up, first, being in a very unhealthy relationship and wanting to be with that person in that unhealthy relationship. Then also immigrating to another country with this idea that life was going to be better, and life is actually worse than where you come from. What I like is that this story really talks about knowing when to pick it up and go, knowing when to save yourself. I love this. This was such a really good Caribbean story, and I think that it doesn't get enough love. It is an old book, but I wish more people would pick it up. I wish more people would be so that even with not just this book, that some of those backlist books, that old Caribbean books that I can't find because of course there's not enough attraction there for it. I want it to be so I can read them, but it's just sometimes it's hard to find them. So I'm glad I was able to find, you know, this one and of course Palace of the Peacock, which was re-released. All right. Then we have Fire Rush and Jacqueline Crooks. This is, of course, a Jamaican author, and this one was also on, I think, the Woman's Prize. This is one of the books where the first half was punching. The first half was you in it. You turn the page. You here for it. And then when you get to the second half, there's that twist that happens that just did not give the first half justice. I felt like the author may have lost her way towards the end. And if not, this book would have been so strong and good, because that first half of this book was so good. So that's the only qualms I have about this one. Then we have What Storm, What Thunder, and Mariam J.A. Chancey. And I said it before and I'll say it again. Haitian authors always impress me. I just love how they tell stories. I love how human this story is. This story really is told in kind of an interlocking stories of several different characters, and this also took place in the before and the aftermath of the earthquake that hit Haiti, that devastating earthquake. So the lives of the people. So this is where she really goes into survive and surviving. So there's that different element of it, and it's very gritty. It's very gritty, and I absolutely think this was a well done book. Absolutely. Then we have Queen of Exile, and Vanessa Riley really is going through these women of the Caribbean. She is definitely slowly but surely is going to make sure that all those women from history is represented in the books that she wrote, and this one she gave Marie Louise her shine in this, and you learn a lot about this. This is one of the books I talked about where I said beyond the pages, where I did my research. I wanted to know more about her because I've never even known her prior to this. She was the first queen and the only queen ever for Haiti, and her history is very much rooted in the aftermath of what happened when freedom was given, and how her relationship with her husband kind of complicated so many things, but how she survived when she was exiled. It is one of those stories that you're like, wow. But then you also know that there's elements of her that nobody would know because she didn't share. So that's also interesting to know. All right, then we have Things I Have Withheld, and this is a nonfiction story collection of essays, and it's from Camilla. I love Camilla. Love his fiction, so of course his nonfiction was going to blow me away, and it absolutely did. This is him talking about his journey being an immigrant in a different country, traveling to different parts of Africa, traveling to different parts of the Caribbean, his sexuality, being around young men who are struggling with poverty and their sexuality in some parts of the Caribbean, and how he feels about being in certain spaces. And again, the theory of this is, when you think of how he titled it, Things I've Withheld, and that's powerful. That's powerful, especially if some of it didn't serve you well, but you wanted to like talk about it in an essay form. Yes. Then we're going to talk about If I Survive You. Now, this is the Caribbean man that made it on the Booker Prize this year, and he made it all the way to the final. Now, I thought this was very authentic. Very authentic. Just a certain aspect of it I can relate to, of your identity from when you were living in the Caribbean in Jamaica, and then me living in America, and how you identify yourself now. You have extra things to identify yourself. You know, living in Jamaica, you're a woman and you're Jamaican. That's it. Then you come here, there is your woman, you're Jamaican, you're black, and then also you immigrant. So there's that more identity, and where do you fit in, and culturally, how do your parents adjust? So now you're here with your parents, your sibling, and things are different, and things of your growing pain and how you change is different, and you don't even know yourself, and you're making dumb decisions, and you as a reader understood why he's doing that. At first it seems silly, but then you understand that sometimes people who don't know who they are will do any and everything to try and justify their behavior, and I would say this really root down to parent and attention, and the daddy issue. And daddy issue is a powerful thing, and I'm learning that that can make you do stupid things because of the fact that you are not getting what you want from said parent. I love the ending. The ending gave me, he's gonna be all right. He's gonna be all right. That's what the ending gave me. I thought, like, yeah, that was nice how he ended that book. Like, yeah, he gonna be all right. That kind of deal. And then when I think of what stopped bottom morning, this book had such a good potential of being so good. But she fumbled at the end. I think there was just too many loose ends to have an open ending. Open ending, you cannot have so much loose ending. It needs to be so tight that things are even out, that the reader is not going to have so many questions to ask. I had too many questions to ask for the end, that I just didn't care for the ending. But this really boils down to trauma and what trauma can do to people who suppress their past. They don't want to remember it, and eventually they don't remember it. And this happens to a woman where in one day she meets a woman who said that's her sister, and it opened up the floodgate of things that happen, and it didn't really come together until when she realized she had to go back home, as in go back to Jamaica, go back to her surroundings, and opened the wound and finally come to terms with everything before she can actually start healing. So the story idea was amazing. I love the beginning. I love but I just did not care for that ending, and that really made me a little womp womp. How to Say Babylon, Sofia Sinclair. I think I talked about this book so many times so far on this channel. This is probably my 5th time talking about this book, and I would say, and I would say it again, this book came into my life at the perfect time. And I will talk more about it later, because see, of course, spoiler alert, it's going to be on my favorite. And I will give you more why I say that. And but it's just one of those books that I will forever be grateful that I read it. And then you have the last book, which is a Christmas book, and this is Russell Adams, and this is Spiked Hot Chocolate. And this one was okay. I just didn't, the romance didn't do it for me so much. Something about this romance in this, I was like, I don't believe you. But I do like the idea of spending the holiday alone, and you're at a restaurant and you just happen to connect with somebody there who's also spending the holiday alone. I like that aspect of it. That was cute. But it's like some parts of it I was like, I don't believe you. So yeah, guys, that is all 17. So this is what I want you guys to do for me. In the comment, I beg you, if none of these books, if list books that you've read as Caribbean that's not on this list that you've read this year and you want me to read, or you just enjoyed, just list them. I am always looking for Caribbean books to read, especially older Caribbean books. List them in the comment section. Now, given the what am I saying? I have about 10. No, I'm lying. Probably about 12 books that I had hauled this year that I have not read that's Caribbean books. So I have enough to really start off next year, right? And to read. And I'm happy for that, because at least I'm not going to be searching yet. But I'm always still looking for especially older books. Give me those 90s. Give me those 80s. Give me those older books that are Caribbean that you think. And give me those Caribbean island that's not popular, that I am Jamaican, but we know. We in it. Trinidad, we know they're in it. They're in it strong right now. I think they're the strongest as far as the Caribbean. Haiti, even though I have a soft spot for Haiti. No, give me the Haiti. Give me Haiti. But like the Virgin Islands and Barbados do have a lot, but we need more. And all the other small island, Grenada, you know, and Aruba, Turks and Caicos, all them small islands that you don't really hear a lot of books coming out of. Put them in the comment. I am here for it. It's not going to just help me out. It will help other people that watch my video that want to read more Caribbean books. Put them in there. I'm always going to push for it. I'm pushing for it again for Caribbean for next year and for June. And again, I am that person where I want to read some backlist Caribbean, because them so good. Them good. More I read them. So I will see you guys tomorrow, and yeah, the month's almost over. Countdown to going back to work. Yeah. All right, guys. All right, see you in the next one.